Hey YouTube, today I'm going to show you guys how to do this DIY chalkboard door hanger. This is just a door hanger that I got from Michael's and I painted it using chalkboard paint. The reason I did chalkboard paint is because it's so simple and easy to change what you want it to say from day to day or depending on how you're feeling. And all you have to do is use a wet damp cloth and wipe off the chalk and rewrite whatever it is you want to use. So that's just that simple. So I'm going to show you guys how to make this today, so let's get started. You'll need a door hanger of any kind will do, some chalkboard paint. I got mine from Michael's. You'll also need a brush. This is just a sponge. Some chalk. You can use any color. The first thing we're going to do is make sure that you have your door hanger on top of some paper that you can just toss in the trash after you use it, so that you don't get your surface dirty from the chalkboard paint, just in case you go over. I am using a glass dish. This is just a top from a candle that I had, and I'm putting just a little bit of paint in there at a time. I just don't want to overuse the paint, so when you do a little bit at a time, you'll be able to add more, because once you pour it out lots of times, it's harder to get the paint back into the bottle. I'm just taking the sponge brush that I showed you guys, and I'm going to just put light coats on it. You'll be able to use or do as many coats as you want on it. I'm going to probably do about 3 coats on it, just to make sure that I'm covering the entire surface of the door hanger. So now I'm just going to finish up with the very first coat. This is a light coat. It just takes just a few minutes to do. It doesn't really take a very long time. That's one thing about this that I really do like, is that it doesn't take a very long time to do. So after I get through with this first coat here, I'm going to speed it up just a little bit to show you guys the second coat, so that it doesn't take as long for me to show you guys how to do. I'm just going to put a little bit more chalkboard paint in there, and then I'll get started on the second coat. That was the second coat. I'm going to go ahead and do a third coat. I just put a little bit more paint in my container to paint with, and I'm going to try and go straight across as much as I can for the most part, so that I don't have any middle line streaks. It's okay if you don't go straight across, but for the most part, on most of the layers, I try to go straight across. Now I'm going to do the corners. The corners are a little bit more tricky because you don't want to get any paint on the burlap string that's there. You could tape the string up with some painter's tape, but I found that that takes just a little bit more time, when you can just be a little bit more careful and go around it, as you see I'm doing right now. I'm just tapping around the paint to go, and I'm not trying to do all of it at one time. I'm just trying to do little by little until I can get the holes there around the string painted with the chalkboard paint. I want it to look as if this were something that I bought out of the store. So I didn't want just large white circles around the burlap string. So I'm just going to paint in those spots. And don't worry if it doesn't have a whole bunch of layers on it. It's so small and tiny that even if you don't put several layers on it, it'll still look dark, or you won't be able to tell as much that it doesn't have as many coats as the rest of the board does. After doing this last coat, I'm going to let it dry for just a minute before we do the sides. When I do the sides, I'm just going to pick it up and paint the sides as lightly as I can. I don't want to put too much paint, so I didn't refill my paint. I just want to put light streaks of paint along the sides, so if someone was to see it from the side, it will look as if it is painted all around. I didn't put any paint on the back because no one is really going to look at the back of your door hanger, so they won't really notice that it's white. That's a preference. If you would like to paint the back of it, by all means, I would just recommend waiting until it dries completely on the front and the sides before you flip it over on the back, because if you don't wait until you do that, it'll have smudge marks and you'll be able to see where it touched the paper, and the paper could possibly even stick to it. So I just painted the front and all 4 of the sides. After I paint all of the sides, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it sit and air dry. I didn't have a fan or anything on it because I didn't want it to buckle up. I just simply laid it down back flat on the paper that I painted it on, and I just let it air dried until I felt that as if it got dry. It didn't take very long to do. I think it dried within maybe 10 or 15 minutes, but just to ensure that it was dry completely, I wanted to let it air dry. So I let it sit for a total of about 30 minutes before I moved on to writing anything on it. After it dries, I'm going to just take a quick look to be sure that everything dried on all of the sides, so that I can get ready to draw on it. Whenever you draw on it, you want to be sure that everything is dry, because if you don't, then it'll look smudged and you'll have to start over. You can draw anything you would like on it. I just recommend using white chalk. It's the best for me. You can all go and use any kind of colors you want. I'm pretty sure it'll take pink, blue, or any kind of colors you would like to use, just as like it's a regular chalkboard. So there's my welcome. So now it's ready for my door.
And that's it for today. So if you guys liked everything you saw here today and you would like to see more tutorials from me, just comment down below and let me know. If you guys would, please thumb up my video, click the like button, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys later. Bye.